Who's holding my hand in the darkness? Seeing ghosts down the hallway. There's a presence, bedroom shadows, cloaked and haunting me. Cold hand touching me. Fear overwhelming me. Tapping at my window. I can't bear to open my eyes. A breath on my neck. Floating apparitions everywhere. Go to sleep with the light on. I wake up paralyzed. Ghostly apparition hovering over me, asking what it wants to know. I'm shaking now, it calls out my name. Cloaked and haunting me, cold hand touching me. Fear overwhelming me. Tapping at my window, I can't bear to open my eyes. A breath on my neck. Floating apparitions everywhere. Go to sleep with the light on. I wake up paralyzed.
I don't remember. It was something coming through the door. The whispered tears, yours or mine, but pain it will only find. Wounds and wisdom, body and soul. A lifetime journey into the unknown. A broken crown, only to close my eyes, turning around in me. Slow motion death, a caravan of ghost stars falling as we watch the moon fade. Bones and wisdom, body and soul, a lifetime journey into the unknown. A broken crown, I feel the river water washing me. All the beautiful things can't be free. In the distance I see the sun clinging to the last day. Wounds and wisdom, body and soul, a lifetime journey into the unknown. was a beautiful war of flesh and bone against spirit and consciousness. The eternal you of memories in motion, to live once more and to die once more. Wounds and wisdom, body and soul, a lifetime journey into the unknown, a broken crown, body and soul, a lifetime journey into the unknown, a broken crown.
Pen to paper, a lost friend's letter. In darkness I travel, my eyes upon a house disheveled. Walking the halls, all the pain I see, paranoia and anxiety. Usher was telling me, paranoia rising, the house is hearing, influencing spirits haunting, the house of Usher is falling. I caught how it can be, the house the leaves it's possessing, books and songs to help calm, the words brought sounds from beyond, mental illness growing thin, something's under his skin, what is he hearing? Paranoia rising, the house is listening, influencing spirits haunting, the house of Usher is falling. Plans not fair, we left her there, a tomb cold, but for her it could not hold. Paranoia rising, the house is listening, generations dying. The sea is full, yet so many are falling. Many born to die in neglect, with their unreaching intellect. Two ages to be forgotten. The world is promised to the young. I will travel to eternity where age cannot go. I shall transcend this life so bold. How age makes a man invisible. He wanders alone, tattered as his clothes. Forgotten soul finds song in his heart. Monuments of magnificence the seas have taken me to. Byzantium. Two ages to be forgotten. The world is promised to the young. I will travel to eternity where age cannot go. I shall transcend this life so bold. Sages standing in holy fire, spiraling as the masters of my soul sing. Desire overwhelming, don't deny but consume my heart. I know not what it is, but take me to eternity and unknown things. Two ages to be forgotten. The world is promised to the young. I will travel to eternity where age cannot go, and I shall transcend this life so bold. Once free from this body, I'll never come back again. Not to this place I'll be where goldsmiths work. To entertain the lords and ladies of Byzantium. It matters not what is the past, or what is passing, or is to come. Two ages to be forgotten. The world is promised to the young. I will travel to eternity where age cannot go. I shall transcend this life so bold.
This pain of coming back to life, I feel everything, everything. When I open my eyes, your face, I'll never forget. Your horror, my pain, I'm alive, living again. I feel every stitch and every scar. Father, what's my purpose? Abandoned, left for dead, a monster. Why have you forsaken me? Accept me as I am. Like a god, do you feel like a god? Creating without thinking, no pros, no cons. You let me walk, you let me see, you let me feel. I found her, but she did not know me. but she recoiled in horror. I wanted to.
All right, guys. Welcome to Paranormal Roundtable. I'm your host, Josh Turner. This is PRT. Join us in the real reality. You know how it goes. Oh, man. We got 118 people because it's early. We started the show early tonight because I got things I got to do. We got to get out of here, man. We got a couple hours, though. We got at least 2 hours here to get this done. And so I was going over the different stories, the different encounters that we have that we can go over. And I don't know. There's a lot of good ones. A lot of good ones from Central Texas, I got to tell you. So I'm sitting here going like, I don't know, man. I already had 2 people reach out to me and they were like, tell my story or we're not friends. I'm joking. Well, that's not too far flung. One of my friends said that he's had this story for a long time and I never told it. And there's still a few out there that I haven't done from my hometown, mainly because I couldn't get a hold of these people. One guy was living literally. Hold on one second. Go ahead and get positioned here and I'll get started. Got things we're doing over here. Somebody said, nice Superman shirt. Here it is. Eh? Last Son of Krypton. Kal-El was right. You're all nuts. Now, here's the thing. Like, I just can't believe how many people there are in Central Texas who had these experiences with Sasquatch and Dogman. I mean, in particular, Dogman seems to be pretty prevalent down here. Not sure why that is. I've over the 30 years that I've been researching this, I don't have a good enough answer to tell you like why that is. One thing I do know though is that some people will hold these encounters and these things that happen to them. They'll hold them in for years. I mean, for years, and then they'll just say one day, hey, I can't take this. I got to say something. And I think a lot of it stems from people not believing that these people, like, and I've heard people do this. We were at one of our favorite restaurants, a barbecue joint, and there was a guy talking about it who was a former law enforcement, and he was talking about having experiences. And mostly it was ghosts, but he talked about something that was Bigfoot-like. And then there was a guy across the table, and he was, started poo-pooing him and laughing. And
yep, that's how it goes.
That's how it goes. And we were just like, come on, dude, and the guy that was talking about this, like I say, he's a former police officer from South Texas, and he was just being honest with what he, and the guy says, well, you believe me if you want to believe me. I mean, we have a police officer that came on the show, and in his squad car, he hit what can only be described as a goat man-like entity. I mean, he literally smacked into it. I mean, had another guy who was a game warden reach out to us. He hit something that was flying with his vehicle. It shouldn't exist. I'm going to eventually tell that story. Damn, that didn't happen here in Texas, but I mean, still, it still happened. It happened like 22 years ago. 2003. God, time flies. It's amazing. And so, yeah, Randy, I think he did. He's been on the show. He talked about it. And yeah, I mean, we've had some stories, man. We've had some people come on here and tell us some crazy stuff. Mondays have been awesome because you get people on there that just talk about all this weird stuff. I just never thought I'd see the day where we'd have like 3 out of 4 weeks where somebody literally came on and talked about having a vampire encounter.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just unbelievable. And of course, these two, you want to say hi and even, introduce you.
What's up, everybody?
Everybody.
Yeah. When it's, you guys have heard me interviewing people or you've helped me interview people, even after all these years of several years of encounters of people telling us their encounters and telling us, hey, man, there's this weird thing that happened. It's weird stuff, it still never ceases to amaze me. I mean, it just keeps on happening and you just keep on going like, what the freaking heck are we dealing with here, man?
There's so much out there, and people
Yeah.
are experience so much.
1 second, folks. Do not go anywhere. I got to just click off for just a second, and I got to put, because it's work, I got to punch in a code real quick. Hang on. So we have, a plethora of paranormal experiences. So we didn't really know how to play this. We were talking about, we were gonna talk about people's Dogman encounters, and then it was like, well, should we limit it to Dogman? So we're gonna throw a couple other weird things in here. I would say weird. I don't know what to call it. So one of my best friends that I've known for years, and he's, hold on 1 second. He is a kind of, his cousin who passed away a couple years ago was a real magnet for this kind of stuff, like a real magnet.
Some people just are.
Yeah. So there was this little side road, and it's actually close to where your brother-in-law used to live. And he used to cut hair out of that place. And there's this little like side road back alley that goes into the hike and bike, from Taylor, Texas. And that hike and bike has had so many weird stories. And I have one of them from my sister's ex-boyfriend, that they were together for like several years, and he was like part of the family. And he had a weird experience at that hike and bike. And that Dogman encounter is in the book, Werewolves and the Dogman Phenomena. Not only is that in the Werewolves and the Dogman Phenomena, but I told that story on DMR or DME. And so I've told multiple of these encounters on DME. So there's some of those that I would like to update, because there has been activity that has gone on. In particular, one of my cousins who dealt with something in his pasture, I talked about it on that show. Since then, he's had 2 more encounters with these creatures who have preyed on his cattle, to the point where he quit. He literally quit doing cattle, and he moved to another area.
Was that bad?
Yeah, it's got, oh yeah.
Yeah, that's sad too.
Yeah, because it was over there in that area near the Black Panther. It's right. It's weird because there's like a border.
Mm-hmm.
You know where Scruggs and the Lawrence Cemetery, all that? Okay,
Yeah.
so that's that Black Panther area, right?
Uh-huh.
But then there's this giant black wolf. Now, what he saw going after his cattle was not that black. It was not a Dogman. It never stood up. This thing, it was like a giant black wolf. Do you remember the people that told us at Lawrence Cemetery? And we did a boots on the ground, as they call it, as one idiot calls it. But like we did a boots on the ground over there, if that's what you want to call it, and we kept hearing that metal slamming noise, and then we would hear the weird howling.
Yeah, it was across the street, like in a kind of a distance away, but we could hear it.
You could hear it's probably about maybe a mile away, maybe.
Mm-hmm. But we kept hearing it.
We kept hearing it, and then we would hear this weird howling noise. Okay, so we were out there because there was a guy that gave us I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I don't know him in my everyday life, but we did meet in person. And he showed us on a day visit out there years ago where this giant wolf had jumped up on the hood of his car. According to him, at the shoulders, this thing was like 5 feet. I mean, you're talking like the size of a small horse, and it put a big old dent in his car. And this is why I still stand by that. I don't think these things are all flesh and blood, because when that happened, the vehicle refused to start. Like, it quit working. And so you have these weird encounters that go on with these people. And I can honestly not tell you what's going to happen with one of these encounters. I mean, you might have some kind of weird electrical anomaly. You might have a haunting that takes place before or after. It's just so bizarre. You can't predict what is going to happen. And there again, he's another one. I don't know him, but I know his cousin, who's a very, I would say a very prominent person in the community, but I guess he kind of is, in that small community. And his family lives out there, and I know that guy's best friend. So through him, I did talk to Clint. This guy's name was Clint. And I talked to him, and he didn't have the encounter. He's had some other weird stuff happen, but he reached out to that guy that had the encounter. I think his name was like Bobby or Justin or something like that. And so there's his encounter. And then there's the stuff that went on with my cousin with this big black wolf, which if you listen to the descriptions from, I want to say his name was Justin, but it doesn't matter. Let's just say the guy from Lawrence Cemetery, it happened to him and his girlfriend. One of my cousins went to high school with his girlfriend, with the girl that was, well, they're not together anymore, but the girl that he was with. Mm-hmm. And says that she's never changed her story. She was a teenager. He was like 19. She was like 17. But she's never like wavered on the story of what happened that night. And that at first he was kind of getting made fun of. They were like, oh, he's just saying that all this stuff. She was like, no, this really happened. And a weird thing too about that, when this creature jumped on the hood of the vehicle, there was even like steam that came off its feet, its paws. Yeah.
Or maybe it was vapor.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. But it was at night, and it wasn't like it was a moonlit night, And I think one of the reasons why people attribute that, it happens during the time of the moon. No, it's just because you can see it. Yeah. It's there in the dark.
It's more visible.
Yeah, it's just more visible. It's like the moonlight helps you to be able to like recognize and see these entities, man. That's all I'm thinking it is. So let's get into it. We have first I got to say that was an epic football game. I didn't get to watch. We were at Home Depot getting a bunch of supplies and stuff for Christmas and some stuff for the house. And there was a guy outside with his pad that was watching it, and y'all were finishing it up, and I was on the phone talking to a witness before we got the show started. And then we ended up like taking off and then watching it, finishing the game, watching it on our phone. And it was just, I couldn't believe the Cowboys won.
It came through in the clutch. Yeah.
It was unbelievable. They were down 21-0. I was like, these bums, they deserve what they get. And I'm still of the opinion though, that I don't know if they should just win, maybe make the playoffs, or if it just let the, losses.
Just take the season and take the draft pick.
Take the draft pick, I'm still kind of holding my emotions in, and the Texans, dude, what's up with that? Texans got the number one defense and one of the crappiest offenses. Cowboys have the number one offense and a crappy defense. But they have 6, depending on the package, 6 to 7 different players that were not starting because some bunch of people came back from injury, and then they got 2 new guys, Williams and Wilson. And they got those guys, and now they have a new defense. It just takes a little while for a team to gel, but it looks like this team's coming together pretty quick defensively. Mm-hmm. The bye week helped. The low point, losing to the Cardinals, who have won like 3 games. The other teams, you could say, at the time they played them, they weren't all that great. Now they turn out to be, those are good teams. So they've lost to some quality teams, and a couple of them, they didn't lose too bad, but I just thought this team just looked to next year. And now it looks like they're making a run. If they can beat Kansas City on Thanksgiving, if you're a Cowboys fan, well, there you go. And the Texans, man, they look dominant. I mean, they beat in the trenches, especially 8 sacks on Josh Allen. I like Josh Allen. The Bills.
Yeah,
they physically beat the Bills up, dude. They beat them up.
Yeah, you could tell.
The Texans are one of those bully teams that they just beat their ass, dude. If you have a football team that you root for, you don't want them playing the Texans, because even if the Texans lose, they're going to hurt them. I'm telling you, that defense is built for pain. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, interview them before the game. What's your prediction for the game? You know the rest. Pain. That's what's going to happen, because they delivered it in spades in that Thursday night game. I don't know how many games they're going to win. But I know that either one of these teams gets into the playoffs or the Bucks. They're all sneaky good teams. So my teams are good, other than the Raiders, which just seem to be garbage. You know, I was glad to see the Cowboys win, but I just hated seeing the Raiders be so bad.
Yeah.
Proud organization, and they just haven't done anything. And Max Crosby, he's a great athlete. He deserves better. But that's my football take on it. Texas A&M. I had a couple of guys that are Aggie fans, a couple of guys that are Longhorn fans, and they've reached out to me. The Longhorn fans didn't, because they're not obnoxious and stupid. But the two Aggie fans are. They're not stupid, I'm saying. But I'm going to give you my prediction for the game. I think I think the Longhorns are going to beat you by at least 8-9 points. You think I'm crazy? But that's what I believe.
We talked about it, and
yeah, because the Aggies have not faced anyone.
yeah,
If you think Notre Dame
no
is
one
some good team,
significant.
you're out of your mind, dude. Watch how bad they get blowed out in the playoffs, dude. They're going to get their ass whooped unless they tweak it to where they play nobody, which they might until later in the. But whoever beats them in the play, they're going to annihilate them. You watch. And the Aggies, you're going to lose too. There's two teams in the college this year that I think are the teams, and I'm going to tell you who they are. And if you want to put your money on it, put your money on it. That's Georgia, and the other one. Everybody's shocked by that. They think that there's other team. No, don't believe the hype. Georgia is the second best team. Ohio State's the best. They're like freaking pro teams, dude. Like, I'm serious. Like, if they would have caught Alabama earlier in the season or later in the season, Georgia would have destroyed them. I mean, I'm telling you, Georgia's good. I'm not saying this because they beat Texas. I'm saying that because I think that Georgia could beat anybody. I think Ohio State and Georgia are like, they could probably make the playoffs in the NFL. You know, they're good. They're really good teams. So don't put your money anywhere else if you're seriously thinking about putting something down. Don't do that. Those teams are good, man. I know football. I can watch a game. And you guys know this, and I'll tell you what play.
Yeah.
If they don't run that play, it messes up. I tell you, I'm like, they need to do this and they do that. It's what happens. I can show you who's who on the defense and who's going to do what.
I mean,
It's
yeah,
just one of those things, man.
I remember watching the Raiders game with you when you were talking about the safety. You were talking about like what the Raiders did, what mistakes they were making, and how the Cowboys just shut that down.
Yeah, because you know, a lot of times it's just getting helmet on helmet, and a lot of times in these games, wars are won in the trenches.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and nobody knows it better than me. Take it from a defensive lineman. I mean, you know, I was big, but I was quick. I was really fast, and blowing up offensive lines, that's your job. So, you know, you see the wars, and it's one in the trenches for sure. So a couple people, I say more than a couple, have asked me about the video we made last night. That video was in response. That video was made in response to some bullying that was done to me. It was my opinion that was bullying. And I think that, you know, it was wrong. Sparky went on to one of the Roaches channels, and they bullied him. And I made a video response because, folks, they will not face me. They will not come here and face me ever. And then they won't let me go and face them. So it's going to just probably end up a completely legal matter, which is going to happen anyway. It only helped them, you know, because we have everything we need. But if you want to say your piece, it's all for the audience, just so you can know that we're not the aggressors in this. We're not bullies. And so that's all I got to say about that. If you have any questions, watch the video from last night. I would strongly suggest you watch the video from last night, because what they're trying to do is take us away from you. They're trying to cut us away from you so that we can't do our show and that we can't bring you information and entertainment and what we do best. And tonight you'll see what that is. And that's bring people on the show, interview them, or have discussions, or retell people's encounters. And we want to do this. We want to be here to do this. So the show got messed up on Wednesday because we had to talk about this. Because even when you go to try to, you know, help somebody, they'll turn it against you. And those of you that are trying to make peace with them, and there's a few of you, because they're running around trying to reach out to these people, mark my words, okay? They are not going to stop. They will continue, but they may not do it overtly. You know, they're going to do it like, you know, they're not going to do it out in the open. Let's put that. It'll be like subterfuge, and they'll probably be using fake accounts. That's what they do. So I hope that the people that they've harassed they really do stop, but I would not put money on it. I would not. Don't depend on that, because you're making a mistake. They'll get you to not defend yourself while they continue to attack.
Yeah,
That's their MO. And so
take it from us, because we've been in the same position. We've asked for peace many times.
Yeah, peace is not
and it's never happened
with these people. I mean, that's a fact. I've tried everything I can. I will tell any court in the land that we've tried peace. It doesn't work with these people. You can try it, but they're not going to stop. They're obsessed. Sparky says, Wolf, check out your text about Elder. Yes, I did. And I had spoken to her a little bit today, and I will definitely be reaching out to her when I get a chance, probably later this evening if she's up, or tomorrow. Now, she was another one that was harassed on there. They tried to pretend like they were being nice, but then they let everybody in the chat just attack them. That's what they do. I don't care about their chat. I totally ignore it. I don't give a crap what your chat says. It's you and I. And they will not ever face me, folks. They're cowards.
Yep.
They're cowards. Complete and total cowards, in my opinion. So let's just move on from them. Tonight is not about them. If you want to check it out, go look at what I said last night, and I stand by it. Moving on. What else do we have? Oh, we got an alien abduction story from a drive-thru. So reached out to the guy, told us a story about his mother. His mother was an abductee, so that was interesting. And then, and Tony, you were with me. And Tony, he's got something for us. So show us what that is.
We got these cool little lamps that have our logos on them.
Yeah, show them on the camera. You can't really see. There we go.
It's actually a lot cooler in person. The camera's kind of making it.
Yeah, the camera makes it look weird.
So what we're doing right now is we're trying to raise money for our food drive that we do every year. We actually didn't do it last year. We ended up not being able to do it because it was just a time thing. We didn't have time. We didn't really have time for it. This year we're starting early so we can get it done. So we need to come up with about $3,000 to $4,000. Probably be, I would say probably at least 4 to be on the safe side. And we're not expecting you to care or understand. If you do, you do. If you don't, you don't, because we'll get it done regardless. But we our workers, we always try to give them bonuses and help them and give them food. A lot of them work paycheck to paycheck, and we pay competitive wages, but we do a lot for our people for Christmas, for their children. And then there's a lot of people from my hometown all the way up to here in Austin, Cedar Park, that need help. There's a lot of people that are struggling right now. And so most of the money we get right now, from now until probably, the middle of December, we're going to be using that for food and helping these people. We figure we probably need about $4,000. Because I think it's going to be about a $6,000 investment on our end. From beef prices have gone way up, and so has everything. And but I think we have at least 2 from our own pockets. Also, unfortunately, I've had to help pay some medical expenses for people lately. Nellie's got her medical expenses, which some of it will be covered by insurance, but not all of it, and that's a pain. So anything you can do to help, and I'm not begging. Every time I say anything about money on the show, the roaches always start running around going crazy saying that we're begging. That is their favorite thing to do other than lie. And so, yeah, they're going to say what they're going to say, and I don't care. The bottom line is there are people that need help, and we're going to help them. Mm-hmm. We've done that with just about every situation that we've asked for. We actually do update on that, though. We need 4 cameras. We have 2. We need 2 more, and that is because of you guys. You were able to help us do that, but we had to put everything on hold for expenses for other things like legal. And the money we spent sending out cease and desist, well, that didn't do anything. They just burned them and laughed at them and continued rampaging. But we do appreciate those that helped. And like I said, anything you can do to help, that would be great. We have a goal set. What did you set for the goal tonight?
I set a goal for, I believe, 20 super chats of $10 or higher.
Okay, so and then we're going to do this every week. We're going to give away one of these, right?
Mhm.
One of those lamps, and we're also going to be giving away a bunch of other stuff too. We just, I think we still have some PRT mugs, so you'll have a choice. You can get a mug, you can get a lamp, and we have a whole big box full of shirts, and then we have the hoodies should be coming in by December 3rd or 4th, something like that. And then I can't wait to show everybody the hoodies.
Yeah, they're gonna be cool.
They are epic. It's really cool. Giveaway after giveaway after giveaway. Every episode, December, we're going to be doing giveaway. I'm going to even be trying to pop into the chats on the pre-records. People have asked me about the pre-records. Let me tell you what happened. My wife has been in and out of the hospital, and she's had a bunch of crap like MRIs and a bunch of other stuff to do. So we haven't had time to record, much less edit it. But we will get back on track next week. And somebody had sent me a scathing message saying, "You said you were going to do an episode every week of the Patreon and the
Members only.
members, yeah, members only. The members only. Now, let me tell you what happened. What I said was we're going to do one every day of October, an episode, and we're going to do a Patreon and members only every week. But now it's November, right? And we're going to be eventually probably moving the live stream to the Patreon only. That's going to happen. So join the Patreon because you're not going to be getting a live stream. You're only going to be getting one a week starting after Thanksgiving. What else? The Patreon is going to be every other Thursday, and then the opposite Thursdays are going to be for the
Members
only. Yeah. So that's how that's going to work. But we'll get back on track with that. So this week everything got messed up. We couldn't do a Friday. We couldn't do Thursday. I think my wife's health is a little more important than that, and I'm sorry if people don't agree. I'm actually not sorry, but if people would pay attention to what I say, then that wouldn't be an issue. But coming at me combative and being ugly, I don't know. Ben Foyle hat, does the Patreon live include all the discussion about your ops? No, it does not, dude. That's why what we do is we put the name, the label on there, and we tell you this is addressing the lies, this is addressing what's happening, the attacks. Now, what's happening to Ben Foyle hats, so just so you know, we were threatened like 15 times, okay, because of one man's post that he's asking people to reshare it so he can try to spin everything. But when I'm getting attacked by people accusing me of being a woman beater and a child beater or whatever, dude, these people got to stop. I mean, it's nuts, and it will stop. Tomorrow we have a meeting with the police, and hopefully that will go well. There are multiple people who've reached out to me who've had to go to the police themselves. One of them who started off attacking us because he thought we were bad guys, and then he went to PRT News and he was like, holy crap. Then he started being attacked. A couple of them, actually. And one of them had to go and file charges in Atlanta today. That's going to happen tomorrow for us, too. We're going to the police and just giving y'all the heads up. This is how serious we are. Because not only are the lawsuits coming down, it's going straight legal. But even then, I'm still willing to talk to these people. That doesn't mean I'm going to back off legally, because I will not. I don't care. You could give me $1 million, I won't back off legally. But I want my peace with these people, because I don't know how much of the courtroom you'll be able to see. Because I want you to see that we are not the bad guys. We are not the aggressors. We did not start this. But we're going to finish it. So we almost got 300 people in there. And so we're almost ready to go here. Thank you, Debbie, for that. Debbie's awesome.
Oh, wow. Thank
You're
you so
incredible,
much.
Debbie.
That's amazing.
Wish you lived close by so we could give you some food for the whatever. Be great. And you would not believe how many people have suffered. And I'm going to say this too, and I never thought I would openly say this, but you would not believe how much money we've given to people, our listeners included. And if they're being honest, they'll tell you. And I didn't do it to make them say anything. But when you come at me and you attack me and you pretend with your lies there are lots of people who can attest to the things that we've done for them privately. I'm not even joking. I bought washing machines and I bought refrigerators for people over the last several years, and I never said a word about it. I never brought it up. But they seem to want to bring up us every day and say things about us. It's not true. You say what you want to say. You're right to say what you want to say within reason. You can say that I look ugly, or you can say that you don't think I'm a cool guy, but you don't have the right to say slanderous defamation and libel. It's particularly foul because you're saying it without saying my opinion. It's not your opinion. You're saying like it's a fact, and that we do these horrible things, and even saying that we're kidnapping people. And dude, get out of here. This is
government officials.
Yeah. We don't have the kind of money to bribe a government official, dude. Folks, we need a campaign here. We need to bribe this guy up in Congress to change the rules, okay? Let's stop all this immigration and all this. You need to just donate your money so that I can take it over there and give him a suitcase full of it so we can change everything. Yeah, okay, whatever, dude.
If we had that kind of money and influence, we wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, we'd be talking politics on here.
Thanks for gifting 5 memberships.
Thank you, Rick Dalton. We appreciate that greatly. We're getting back on track next week. You'll have your Patreon, okay? Even though we got Thanksgiving coming up, yes, we're going to do a Wednesday show. And who knows? Who knows? We may even show up on Turkey Day just to say hi. We don't know. We may do a live stream in lieu of the Patreon or whatever. We haven't decided.
Depends on how the Cowboys do. That'll determine it, right?
What?
Depends on how the Cowboys do.
No, it doesn't. Because I ain't worried about the Cowboys. I'm not worried about the Buccaneers, although I hope they beat the Rams tonight. I'm not worried about any of that. I'm not worried about the Astros. Sports is fun, but it's not my life. So, hey, we got 306 in here. Heck yeah. So, let's start with this one. I'll let you guys decide. You two, like, you know the stories. What do you think? We could start out talking about what happened on my cousin. Well, he's not my cousin. He's a cousin by marriage, but his ranch.
Mm-hmm.
We could talk about that one. We could talk about my friends. I don't want to start with that one encounter because it's not really a Dogman. I don't know what it is, but what do you want to start with? I mean,
isn't there one that took place in you said near Uvalde?
Yeah. Okay. So
let's hear that one.
That one involves family.
Uh-huh.
That was my. What should I even say? I probably should just. Let's put it this way: it's somebody my dad's related to by his stepmom, which was my grandmother. Where's the text at? Because I sent you the whole list.
Yeah, you sent it directly to me.
Where are you?
So it's not in the.
Well, send me a little blip of a text. I can find you. There's been literally 40 freaking texts since.
Yeah, they get buried.
Folks, you have no idea how many messages I get a day, dude. I would like to do if we could control it, not have them watching us, go to the restroom or whatever, but do like a reality show and just show you. Because my email is almost full again. And you can attest to that. You were looking at that yesterday.
Yeah, it's like 90% full.
92%. Yeah, I'm like, holy crap, dude. I can't believe it. We have to dump it all the time. A lot of stuff goes to junk, too. So if I don't respond, you might want to say, hey, did you change your name on there?
No.
Look at this. That's what it's showing right there.
I don't know.
What is up with these phones, dude?
Weird, dude.
Okay, so that's weird. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have about 6 different encounters that we can choose from. These are here in Central Texas, but mostly it's around my hometown. That's why we wanted to go back. And so this one was not in my hometown, and it was, I guess it would be South Central Texas, kind of the gateway to the south down there, Uvalde. So what happened was my dad's relative it's like related by marriage. He was out hunting back in 1989. This happened a long time ago. depending on how old you are. And so he ended up going turkey hunting, and it was in November. And it was the first couple of days of turkey season. There's a lot of turkeys in that area, and so it's known as a place to go hunting out down there. I went turkey hunting one time. It was the most boring thing. I didn't see anything. Nothing happened, and I fell asleep. My cousin Stuart's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "This is boring." I actually only one time in my life I ever went spearfishing, and I was with my cousin. He's Stu. He took me. But here's the thing: we were actually out there in the middle of nowhere, and that same area where I was at, where I actually, 14. I was 14. Went fell asleep, before I'd ever seen a Dogman or whatever you want to call that thing. And so my dad's relative, I'm not going to say his name, we'll call him D. Well, that wouldn't be correct. We'll call him BD. BD was out there, and he's one of these people who's for years like rationalized what he saw. Like he literally saw this, but he let his own brother like convince him that he must have fallen asleep and it didn't happen. And then one day we were there talking at Thanksgiving, and he was like, "No, this really happened. I just went along with it because my older brother, said I was being crazy, whatever. I didn't want to look more crazy than I already was, And by his own admission, he's a born again Christian. He was not at the time. He was a drinker. Okay, let's be honest. He was an alcoholic. And so he just was like, he was drinking all the time. And last time I saw him was at the SPJST Hall, which is very haunted. And here's how it happened. I got to tell you that part of it first. We were at this place called the SPJST Hall, right outside of Taylor. You can look this up. It's a real place. It's a big place. It's like a dance hall. It's the Czech people in Taylor. They use that place. And you can rent it out, He was there for a wedding, and I had showed up because I was delivering something. And it was people I didn't know, but I was doing something. I can't remember what it was. Oh, I was with my other cousin, and I was helping them bring a trailer with a barbecue pits on it. And so we were going inside, and it was early in the day. And I remember it was a wedding. It was a spring day, and we were talking. And while we were upstairs, it was early in the day, like I said, we had the keys, and there was nobody but me and him upstairs. And you guys know how you've been there, both of y'all. The upstairs, that big hall, it's just upstairs. There's like a big wide open. If you talk, there's an echo.
Yeah.
So the bartender that they had hired wasn't there yet. He works for the hall. I know him. I went to school with him. And so I was upstairs, and I heard this. I don't want to. This is weird. Okay, you remember Blake's wedding? You remember Blake's wedding?
Yeah.
Okay, I remember Blake's brother making a joke about places being haunted, whatever, and we were talking, and it was well, I'm not gonna say his name. He's a cop here in Cedar Park, but he was talking about. He goes, "Yeah, this place is haunted. It's been haunted since we were kids," and he had a weird experience here. So we were talking about it, and then. I remember at Blake's wedding, like when they were cleaning up or whatever, Blake's buddy that I saw at the farm, that's my Uncle Butch's ranch, whatever, farm ranch, whatever, saying, "Hey," it was during dove season. He says, "Hey, I had an encounter out there at the SPJST Hall." And I told him, I said, years ago, my dad's step cousin had something really weird happen there. And I was delivering a barbecue pit with my friend Daniel. And so we were talking. Daniel was downstairs talking to my Uncle Raymond, and I was upstairs. And I remember just hearing what sounded like a person clear their throat coming from the bathroom area. So I thought, oh, Jacob's
Someone's in
here.
there.
He's the bartender, right? Jacob or Canales. So I thought, okay, he's here, and it didn't dawn on me. And then while we're sitting there talking, Jacob comes up the stairs talking on the phone, and I'm like. So I go back to the restroom, and I was like looking. I was like, so I told my dad's cousin. I was like, what the freaking heck was that? And B says, "Oh, dude, this place is old. It's haunted. There's weird stuff here, And so we started walking downstairs, and this was probably I was already like in my mid to late 30s, And BD goes, "Hey, man," he goes, He's like, Shiloh, that's a friend of ours. He goes, Shiloh told us that he's not alive anymore, but he says he told us that you had an encounter with something otherworldly. Like it was, and I didn't know BD was, I thought he was just, and I thought, well, because he drank a lot. And that's a mistake. People think, well, this guy smokes pot and he drinks. He's not a good witness. But BD's holds a job. He's a welder by trade, and he's done the same thing for 40 years. He's about 10, 11 years older than me. And he's retired now, but he still does it sometimes. And he actually welded that barbecue pit together, So we were talking and we were looking at it, and we were just, I hadn't seen him in a while, And so I told him, I said, what I saw, and I gave him the rundown of what I had seen. And the fact that my friend was there too, he was able to come up and we both talked about it. And he told me, he says, one time when I was hunting out in Uvalde, I had heard the story, but I had heard the story secondhand from one of the younger cousins my age that was making fun of it. And I got upset because I said, dude, don't do that, because you weren't there. You don't know what happened. This guy told me this story that day, but it was an abbreviated kind of rushed version. I had to go. So I reached back out to him when we were writing the book, and I thought, well, I don't know if I have room for that, but I held it in my back pocket and said, I'm going to tell, well, y'all know, I was going to do another book and just do more encounters. And so I said, I'll save it. So I reached back out to him. He is a cancer survivor. He had skin cancer. And he was in and out of the hospital. So I called him when he was up in the hospital, but he was down in South Texas. So I wasn't able to drive all the way down there to Corpus where he was at. And he's got a ranch down there on the other side of Mathis, Robstown, whatever, somewhere. Not anymore. But he said one time he was hunting in Uvalde in November of '89. And he says, I'll never forget. I was out there by myself, and he had a piece of property that they rented specifically for hunting, and some of my family would go out there to hunt. So I thought it was interesting that we hear this noise, and we also heard like what we thought was talking in the SPJST hall. Yeah, and then that's how we ended up getting on the subject of this, kind of how Junior told you that night. Remember that when he was remodeling that house and the sawhorses fell over, and then we ended up on the subject of the night in question where we saw the Dogman. And he told you his version of it about the smoke coming off his back or whatever. So this is what happens. He's hunting. He goes, and I'm sitting there, and he goes, and I can hear he's got a turkey collar. And he goes, and I can hear these turkeys. They're moving. I know they're in the bush. He goes, and finally I get this big, what looks like a tom come out. And he goes, it comes out of the bushes. He goes, and there was something that moved. Now, here's what's interesting. If you listen to this encounter, I'm gonna tell you the encounter, and then you tell me if you notice something was weird about it. It's weird anyway, but I mean, what's really weird? The tom just kind of hangs out, moving around, and then this big, looks like a clawed hand. He thought was a bear at first, and then it just grabs this turkey super fast and pulls it toward these bushes. And then this thing lunges out of the bushes on top of it and doesn't just bite it and attack it. It picks it up after it bites it, and it makes sure that it's unalived. And this thing is standing there, and it begins to like kind of drink from its neck. He's watching this about 50 yards away through a scope, and he's like, what on God's green earth am I looking at?
That's not far at all.
Yeah. And he's just like, okay, while it's preoccupied, and he did the smart thing. He got up and he began to walk backwards and kind of watching himself and going backwards, keeping his rifle and eyes trained on this thing. He said the most terrifying moment in his entire life came when the thing put the turkey down and began to scan the area, kind of panning, looking, because he senses him. And he's like, you have this moment of clarity where you're thinking this could easily turn into death. And then he begins to think, there's no sound. There's no sound. There's nothing. The birds, the sparrows, there's nothing. Nothing's happening. Now, in Texas, we have certain birds that'll just, I mean, if it doesn't get really cold enough, Like even now, it's been warm enough to where the leaves aren't even all falling off the trees. It's like
Yeah.
no fall, you know. And then all of a sudden, winter comes and it just kills everything. But it's a cruel reality in Texas. If you don't like the weird temperature stuff, don't be here. Don't come here. Don't go here. Because when you come here, that's what's going to happen. So there's no sound, and all of a sudden he's sitting there going like, you know, and it's what we've been talking about the pocket reality. Like these things take you to this pocket reality. He goes, and this thing just kind of drops the turkey carcass and then looks and then hunches down. And he said it was sort of a short muzzle. I mean, stereotypical, like just a werewolf creature with the ears. Everything about it was a werewolf. The body wasn't massive. Like we've discussed this encounter. It wasn't a massive creature. Maybe 6.5 feet tall, which I mean, that's bigger than taller than me. Maybe 350. That's even not even.
But compared to how big these things can get,
yeah,
it's not that big.
like I'm bigger than that. I mean, I'm 6'4", 360, 370. So I mean, you're looking at this creature and you're thinking this thing is a pretty big guy, but he's not the biggest we've heard of. And it gets down, he goes, it's weird. It got down to like this football stands, like he was getting ready to run. And he's like, and I just turned and I walked until I got into the wooded area through the clearing and I was gone. He's like, and I ran and my jacket got caught like on a tree branch and it cut his arm open, dude. So bad that he had to get 4 stitches. But he was just like, dude, I was gone. He goes, I got in my truck. He goes, I backed up. I hit a tree. Luckily, it was a sapling. Hit another tree with a grill guard. Thank goodness. Well, you should have them. And then he takes off out of there. And he said, I was hitting every pothole. He goes, it messed up everything on my truck. My front end was bad. But he got the heck out of there and he got away from that area. And then he never went back. Now, my cousin, I let my cousin go out there to go hunting one time because he had asked about it. I warned him. Now, this is on my dad's side. And I'm pretty close with like everybody in my family on both sides and my dad's step family. I'm really close with them. I'm close with my dad's, everything. But he was of the opinion that he would be okay. And so I said, look, I was on the phone with him. This was only like maybe, 15 years ago or something. And I said, yeah, that you can talk to him, see if he's, I told him, and that area where he was at was no longer leased by my relatives. My dad's cousin told him, said, hey, man, you might want to not be out there because this is what happened to me. And it was not, but we stayed friends with the people that ran that area. And that guy, he was from Giddings, and we played Little League ball together. We were on this state team, whatever. So I knew him, And so when I talked to the guy, I said, what do you know about the weirdness out there? He goes, dude, I don't go out there. And he definitely don't go out there after dark. He goes, I just lease it to people. And I need to talk to this guy, Russ. But I need to talk to him because that dude can tell you some crazy stories over the years. He doesn't have that anymore, but he used to. For years, he had it for like him and his dad and his uncles and his grandfather. And he said over the years, he goes, I probably heard 10 or 12 stories about some sort of weird creature out there. Nothing Bigfoot. It's all just that weird werewolf looking thing. And it's not, like I said, it's not a humongous creature, but it took that turkey and just did it so fast. And he was just like, man, I'm not even.
But I think it's just the one.
I think so, because like every time, well, according to Rusty, every time he's gotten a story about that place, it was this. The only thing that ever happened to him, he was out there one time laying out deer corn during deer season, because that is a lot of game out there. I mean, if you were going to be a Dogman or a Bigfoot, like I said, in that little area in his land, there were no Bigfoot reports. He said on the adjacent land there was, like going down the road, but he said it would be like every year people will go out there, they bag deer, they bag pheasants, they bag, quail.
It's a rich environment.
Yeah. Anything you got, doves, turkeys. I mean, there's everything out there, rabbits, everything. Because if you're a hunter, it's a glorious place to be. He said, but here's one of the weird things Rusty told me. He said he was out putting deer corn out one year. And this was in 1991 or 2. I can't remember because he couldn't remember, but he said 1 year for sure was 91. He had a weird encounter. But then there was another one that may have been 91, 92. But this one was interesting. And we'll stick with, as you called it, the Uvalde area. We'll talk about this one. He said that because he lived in Cuero, right outside of Cuero. And get this, Cuero, there's so many turkeys out there. Guess who their mascot is?
With the turkey.
The Gobblers.
Really?
Yeah. And they're a good football team every year. So he's out there, and he used to live in Cuero, right outside of Cuero. But he said, dude, I'm telling you, that area out there is haunted with weird stuff. Weird stuff. He believes that there's ghosts out there, too. He once claimed to have seen an apparition, him and his brother, of a Comanche on horseback, like literally walking with spears, like horses. And then they jumped on their horses and rode right by him and his brother and rode past them. And they were like, and they didn't like on the Devil's Backbone, you'll hear about them like fading away or something. They'll just kind of go like, poof, you know, or out by Inks Lake, you know.
Mm-hmm.
This didn't happen. They just kept riding with dust and everything until they were out of sight. Him and his brother was 17 and he was 19 or no, 18. He was 18, his brother was 16. So he said, you know, he goes, and it happened again. There was another weird thing that happened to him. He said, my dad had me out there feeding the deer. He goes, I was probably 17 years old. And he said that my brother was out there and his brother would always complain because he didn't have to do stuff. He was really lazy. I don't know his brother. That's his words. So they were out there and they were putting the deer corn out. And he said that one of the things that happened, he goes, like almost immediately, we're getting back in our truck and we're getting ready to leave. And he goes, and we hear this loud roaring howl. And he didn't call it like when I say somebody says a roaring howl, it's not, most people don't say that. That's my words. Like, I don't know how to describe what they're describing other than they'll try. It's kind of funny, but they'll try to do like, and if you're somebody who's talked to me, you probably have, they'll try to do the howl or the roar,
an imitation.
Yeah. And it's like, sounds like how a man would try to imitate, you know, because we're not those creatures.
Yeah.
You know? So he said that it was like this raw, woo, you know, whatever. And for a minute there, I thought almost the way he did it almost sounded like a imitation of a Sasquatch. And I was like, this is almost like a Sasquatch. He goes, well, I don't know what it was. It sounded like a howl. He's like, and I can't recreate it for you, but I promise you, there was this loud howl that went on. And he's like, and I slowed down a little bit in the truck, and I was like, did you hear that? And, you know, my brother was just like, he's like, but over the years, he goes, around that time, maybe a year or two before we started having weird things happen, there was a wild hog that was shot out there a few years ago. Here's another one. This happened like, I think the last they held on to that place was in 12 or something like that. But he said that there was a wild hog that was shot and it was left there. And the hunters were going to come back and get it. And when they came back and got it, it was hanging up in a tree. Like, and it was weird. Literally, I don't want to sound too graphic, but some tendons were taken and used as like a rope to throw it over, like part of it, not all of it, but about half of the carcass. And this was about a 400-pound animal. So about 200 pounds of meat were hung up on a tree. So it was really weird. And whoever did it, they used they didn't use a rope like a human would. They used the sinewy part of it to do that. And I thought that was really interesting. The top half of the hog was gone. So anyways, I you know, it was brutal, you know, and he said that it was like the hunter did it and then moved to another spot and was going to come back and get it. And yeah, it was just, you know, because there were so many hogs out there, they were just everywhere. And they don't know what could have done it that quick. It was like 30 minutes to an hour, you know. The hunter couldn't say exactly how long, but that's pretty quick. Like you do something and you're like, okay, I got this one. And of course there was a bounty at that time, I believe. So he took the tail or the ears or something and moved on to another spot. And then, you know, you can't really do much with them wild hogs. Most people don't eat them. Some people do. I don't know, maybe. Yeah. But I know some of the people from Mexico will actually
a nuisance animal.
You know, will actually eat them. There's a family out there by our ranch, and they were out there with a big old hog on the spigot at New Year's. And I said, look at that. That didn't pop out 300 pounds.
Yeah, the guy who cuts our hair is talking about eating them.
those people that live out there by the ranch,
Mhm.
they were that hog smelled good too. I saw it. They had the whole thing on there. They killed it down near Turkey Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah, at their Turner crossing. That's what, because I was like sitting there going like, yeah, that's where they did, because that's a good spot, because they love to go down there by that creek. Thank goodness, and they don't come onto our property and mess around with our water, but that's where they are. But this hog was big. It's probably bigger than that one. He said it was over 400 pounds. And how could something take it that quick? And then just, like maybe 40 yards away, the hog was up there in a tree and like thrown up there. Interesting thing though, I mean, like when these people that ran this lease, which is what it is, they were, they would lease it out. They had a bunch of acres out there, and they'd lease different chunks out to people like you have this section, this section, this section, this section, this section. And over the years, this guy was telling me, he's like, man, I have had so many people tell me stories, weird stories. Now here's one. This one's really scary. And he said, this one, now here's the thing. This is him telling stories that happened to him. Okay. So this is not a first-hand encounter. It's not a second-hand. This is like, third-hand. So, I mean, take it for what it is. He said that there was a hunter that came out there from Bandera. And this guy was like, okay, here's the interesting thing about this. He said at this point, we had the year before during turkey season. Turkey season comes twice. People don't know that. It comes in spring and it comes in the fall. Here in Texas, anyway. I don't know how it is in the rest of the country, but it's like in May and then again in November. And this was turkey season in May. A lot of people go out there to hunt turkey. And this guy, he told him, he says, let me tell you something. He's like, there are some weird things that have happened out here. And because it had happened recently and people had told him some stuff, he felt compelled to tell this guy. And he says, I told this guy, I was very upfront and honest with him. I said, hey, man, hey, John. This guy's name was John. He says, and he told him, he says, there have been reports of some weird stuff. The guy's sitting in his truck and he's like, how weird? And he's like, well, I don't know, man. He goes, is it as weird as Bigfoot? He goes, kind of along that same vein. He goes, I didn't tell him that it looked like a werewolf, because he said it's hard enough for somebody to believe in Bigfoot, but then to believe that this thing is like a half man, half wolf running around. I mean, like, who the hell's going to believe that? Like, what is this?
That's part of the issue, in my opinion.
It is.
We've trivialized it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've made it into like a.
I mean, I was never really subscribed to that line of thinking. I can't relate to it. Like, oh, I'll believe in aliens, but ghosts, come on now, or like I can understand Bigfoot, but Dogman, that's where you lost me. Like, it's all kind of it's part of the same pie.
I mean,
because those are people.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I was just going to say real quick, Tony, and you can take it. We've taken the physical flesh and blood approach, but if you look at it and you don't look at it that way,
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say we've basically taken like real life warnings and myths and turn them into children's stories that we just like they don't matter. Something you just tell someone that isn't real, but you tell them to entertain them or whatever, and it's not how it's supposed to be, because people back in the day believed and were scared of these things.
And it's only really like in the past like 200 years that this stuff has been like turned into fiction and not taken seriously as a part of the real world.
I mean, one of the things we had a problem with doing the shows about the mummies was not so much that it was for us hard to believe that these things could hold curses and do things, but just because it's turned into like a Halloween mascot.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that these tombs hold curses, and the curses are demonic. And I don't think it's so much the mummies themselves coming after you. I think it's the evil spirits that are attached to these crypts, I mean, in fact, I know it is. What is bless you.
Yeah.
And so you get this guy that tells him, he's like, he tells him, hey, you can go hunt out here, but I'm going to tell you, and this was a guy he worked with. This was his friend or cousin or something. And so the guy says, I'll be fine. So after a couple of hours of hunting, he gets tired. He goes back to his truck. He's going to take a little nap. He's going to go back and start back up, And it was in the spring. and it was not. He was not doing too good because it was hot. Well, late May in Texas can be hot, and so he says, "I'm gonna take a nap," but the days are longer, right? So the guy's there, and he's got his window down, and he hears like this kind of sniffing, grunting, growling noise. And it's pig season all year round here in Texas for the last couple, 3 decades. It's like anytime you see one of them, you go after them because they're nuisance animals, and you can get a bounty.
Yeah, it's open season.
Yeah, and that county is no different. So he hears something rooting around and grunting, and he thinks, "Well, this is a hog. I'm going to get out. I'm going to take a chance, and shoot it if I can catch it." So he gets out of his truck, and he's got his gun, and I don't know what kind of rifle he had, if it was a 2250 or I don't know what it was. And so, he gets out and he's ready to kill it with his 6.5 or whatever, whatever it is. And he says he's just dumbfounded because what's sniffing around is standing on 2 legs now. And it's walking around a tree, kind of hunched over with its arms out like it's trying to grab something. What it was trying to grab was a rabbit. He sees a rabbit run out behind the tree, and this thing ran like lightning and caught it. And then he said that when he saw this thing, he was standing there staring at it, and he was like in shock. So he gets in his truck, and the obvious solution is, I'm just going to get the hell out of here. Well, his old pickup truck didn't want to start. So when this man starts to try to start his truck, it's like, thing is dead. Because I'm of the opinion, it's like the guys from the power plant. Remember, Anthony? And they told us that these things, they suck energy.
Mm-hmm.
They suck energy. They've been seen in their power plants. And so he said that when he got in his vehicle and was trying to get it, going, whatever, there was no juice. And he said when this thing was eating that rabbit, he said he ate it in like 2 bites. He's like, he looks up and he sees him. And here's the thing. He can't roll his windows up. He can't do anything. This thing's like, 60 yards away. And he's just like, yeah, I'm stuck. So this thing starts to crawl towards him, slowly kind of like watching him, looking at him, and notices movement. This thing sees it. Now, I didn't get any sort of, because the guy that told me didn't ask the questions because he's not an investigator. And he doesn't normally investigate these things. And so he's like, I don't know whether or not I asked him whether the sound had stopped or if he felt like he was in another dimension or reality. He doesn't know. He just knows that, something, weird was happening here. A creature that he couldn't imagine exists, that he didn't believe could exist, is now crawling towards his truck. And the only thing he can do is just sit there and go, well, I hope I can kill it with my rifle. He goes, I had a handgun and a rifle. And he tells this guy that told me this. And he said that, he just sat there and he was like, I'm a sitting duck. It's crawling towards me. It's not in no hurry, but he goes, it's kind of watching me. He goes, and I have my rifle like ready to go. He goes, and I honestly think, this is what he told him. He said, this thing recognized that gun. He's like, I pointed at it through the window and it kind of slunk down and got behind some mesquite. And he said that at that point, he knew that this thing was smart. Like, it was not a dumb animal that was just like, I don't know what that is. Mm-hmm. No. Either he had witnessed guns and what they do, or this thing had human level intelligence all the way around. And he said that it just kind of hid behind the mesquite. He goes, I could still see it, but I wasn't going to be able to get a good shot at it. And there again, it wasn't an overly large creature. And here's another thing about this thing. The color of this thing. Now, my dad's cousin, I say my dad's, he's my cousin too, but my second cousin by marriage, he did not tell me, BD did not tell me the color of it, that day, because I was kind of, we had to go and I was just catching up. Hey, it's, what's up? And I kicked myself for that. But I talked to him later on, when he was in the hospital, he gave me the whole rundown. He said, because I told him, I said, what color was it? He goes, you're not going to believe this, but it was like brindle.
What's brindle?
Mm-hmm. Not just brindle in the way that it was black and brown, but kind of tiger striped. Almost like, you remember how Ivan looked?
Oh yeah,
It kind of reminded me of the way that Ivan looked. That is not the dog in the picture, folks. Okay, that's a different thing. But he said that this thing was like black and brown, and it almost had kind of like like Ivan had like those stripes.
Yeah.
And it's weird because if you were to see my dog, you'd be like, "Damn, looks like a Tasmanian tiger on his markings." Very, very strikingly beautiful dog. But this animal had a pattern to it. Well, this guy said the same thing. That's why I think it's the same creature. I should have said that earlier, but I'm a little bit tired. But he said that this thing had like a brindle pattern to it. So when you're looking at this creature, he said, and the ears were not these big, huge, tall ears. Like sometimes you'll get these people that, and Tony, we talked to one guy, and he was just like you joked about it. It looked like sounded like Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or like Anubis ears or something.
Yeah, or kind of like when what's his name, and he confirmed it later to you guys too. But have Jerry from Hernandez Ranch. Okay, he described those ears as being so tall that it was like Anubis like, right? And his daughter called it a bunny rabbit. She was like, look, there's a bunny. And he was like, that ain't no bunny. That's a demon, whatever it is, So this guy describes like something that could be, I don't know, man, like something that's like not obviously the head. Now you go back to what was her name's encounter? Well, I can't say her name, but started with a C. She gave us a story like that, and it was in South Carolina. And I don't know if she came on the show or if we did her story yet or whatever. I think so. But she was at our conference, and she was describing her encounter to all of us, and it happened in South Carolina. And she was talking about there was this creature when she was hunting with her husband that walked by. I don't remember if did we ever do that episode? I don't know. We've done so many.
I don't know that we did.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track. But this thing had like these ears that were short, kind of almost like a pit bull's, like where they clip the ears and make them go up and down. And the head is almost pit bull like. So this is what this guy told this guy that ran that area. He told him, he said that it was like almost like it was like if you had a dog that had like ears, big ears, but you clipped them so that they stuck up more than like a pit bull's, but the top of the head was kind of rounded off, and then the muzzle was more rounded, which is weird.
Yeah. So
then my cousin tells me the story. My step cousin says, he goes, Wolf, I'm gonna tell you, man, it was wolf like. It looked like a werewolf. Except the head, like I said earlier, it had a shorter muzzle. It was more rounded and like a shorter muzzle. Think of like how a great white has that more pointed head, and then the tiger shark just kind of more rounded off like that, squared, rounded. That's the difference between like one of these creatures and a wolf. Because a wolf is it just kind of goes like triangular. You can see like that's one I saw. It was like a black triangle. You could see it was wolf-like. This thing was very wolf-like, except it looked like it might have been. Now, there was another person that saw something out there. And this was the guy that we were talking about earlier whose family leased it out. That was his mother's friend, or his mother and his mother's friend went out there because they were all out deer hunting at another property. And she went out there just to make sure that the people were, because there were some people that they went out there from the city. I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but like city people going deer hunting is like, they think it's like you're at the park. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be mean. Like I said, if you're not from the country, I'm not making fun of you or anything like that. But they think it's like, oh, this is awesome. We're out here with these, guns and we're going to shoot something, And so she went out there to go check on these people to make sure they were separated because, she said, look, I'm going to make sure that y'all get your place or whatever. So she had taken them out. They're kind of like outfitters, I guess, And they were driving out and they see this thing standing by one of the gates. The same kind of looking thing was like a brindle color, like black and brown. Now, I got to say this. They didn't say it was like striped, right? That was me, my words. I want to make sure I'm clarifying that. It was kind of like this thing was black and brown, and it had the ears a little, but the ears were small, but they were tall enough to be wolf-like ears, but not unlike like a pit bull. But the mother saw a real quick glimpse of it, and then it was messing with the fence with the physical, like a hand. Like they saw a hand, and then it just jumped the fence and was gone across the gravel road and was gone onto another property real quick. But her and her friend, they were sitting there talking. It was like a few days before Thanksgiving, and they were getting ready, whatever. And it may have been a relative or something, but it was her, like her best friend. But the way these ladies described it, they described it like pit bull-like. Now, the friend of the mom's said that it was like if you took a wolf and a pit bull and mixed them together, because it still had like the shaggy kind of fur. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like how mastiffs and pit bulls will have like the
real thin coat.
Yeah, they'll have a short hair. This was not a short-haired animal, but it did kind of have the weird head that if you took one of those and mixed it with like a wolf. So think of a pit bull werewolf. I don't know. That's the only thing I could. The image in my mind is what that would be. I don't know how to describe it any more than what they described to me.
Yeah.
But you got the idea, and it seems to be one creature because it's always the same height. It's always the same everything. One guy took a shot at it one time when he was out there when he was dove hunting, and he shot at it, because it got real close, and then it took off out into the brush. So if you imagine like let's just say hypothetically, there's one creature that's running around out there doing a Dogman impersonation, he's just being a half pit bull, half Dr. Moreau's Island. He's like, you know what? I'm a werewolf. That's the way I look. I don't know what it is, but that was those are the main stories. Then there were all these different stuff he said he's heard at night, weird noises. One time he was walking out there and he said that he heard whispering, and then he thought he heard somebody go psst, like that to him, and he heard a real loud guttural growl. And the way this guy described it to me, he said he was out hunting in the bayou one time. Those gators will make that weird noise. Mm-hmm. He said that it sounded like that.
Oh.
Yeah. But there wasn't no gators out there. It was the middle of And he said that it was so weird. He says, Mutt Man. Yeah, there you go. It's just a weird thing, like what do you what do you call this thing?
It's like some in-between thing or something. Like I don't know, like it's like stuck in between phases or something.
It's kind of fitting.
Well, I don't think so because it appears to be like it's not changing. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't look. It
looks like its natural state. It's just,
and to me, the way they describe it is like it has the coloring that's kind of weird. It's got the head that looks kind of weird, but it's still got all the wolf-like characteristics.
It's like a hybrid between a pit bull and a werewolf. It's like you said.
Kinda. But it looks more wolf-like, definitely. Mm-hmm. Except with a couple little different, like the little wider muzzle, wider muzzle, and then the weird rounded head.
Mm-hmm. And the ears.
Yeah. So
either that or like one of these examples of like that we've heard of these like shapeshifter practitioners, but they get like stuck. They get stuck. They don't do it right, or something happens.
I don't think that's what this is.
They just get stuck there. Why not?
Well, the reason I don't think this is what this is because it looks like that's its form. Uh-huh. It doesn't look like it has. Sometimes when you hear about
a weird form, though.
Not really. It just the coloring, I guess. Because how many times have we heard Brundle?
Yeah. That's another thing about it.
And there again, that's my words. We didn't hear. He didn't say Brindle. When I said Brindle, he said, "Yeah, kind of." But it would be brown
like
and black.
It's a specific like texture, yeah.
The way it mixes together. Mm-hmm. But maybe, and here's the thing too, a lot of these people, when they tell you their encounters or they'll tell it on the show, we're only imagining what they're seeing. We can't, because I didn't see it, what you saw. So I can only imagine what that is. But when you get a guy telling you there's 4 or 5 different encounters there, and then DB saying that what he saw that day looked like that. Yeah, I don't know, man. So weird. If anybody out there has seen something that looks similar to that, let me know. And maybe we're making too much of it. I mean, when you listen to with Bettina, she told her encounter at the conference, and of course we've all eaten dinner with her, and we went to San Antonio and we ate dinner with Ken and Ann, and we all talked about this. Bettina has told her encounters many times, and that one of them, I think is there a picture that was driven? I think there was a picture that was drawn by Sibylla Irwin. Yeah. So Sibylla drew a picture of what she saw in the book, and there is this kind of pit bullish looking creature. But I don't. The way this thing sounds, it had hair like a wolf. It looked more like Shaggy, but the color was weird. More, because it's like black brown kind of, But how many times have we heard blackish brown from these people who've had encounters? I don't think one time I've ever stopped to think, and maybe this is me being not a good journalist, maybe being not a good investigator, whatever. But I don't think I ever asked anybody if it was Brindle before. But the way that this was described made me think that because of a little bit of the pit bullish type head. So it gave me pause to think, well, maybe I should ask, maybe this is what that is. I mean, could it be, something along those lines? But I don't think, have y'all ever, I don't know, we've all interviewed people. Have we ever asked anybody?
We've never had like any, like coloring or texture like that anyone describes. It's usually like solid colors, or like maybe like the undercoat would be like a different color or a darker color than like the tips or something. But yeah.
Yeah, and so the other characteristics of the creature,
I mean,
2 people described the legs. I mean, they were backward bent. The ones that DB saw, he told me to my face, they were backward bent.
Yeah.
What about stripes?
I mean, I don't think they were really stripes. It's just the way that he described it was like, well, I mean, it could be.
Yeah.
But he said it was like black, brown. That was his words, which made me think Brindle.
Yeah.
And then you kind of get the kind of the pit bullish head, And it wouldn't be such a thing if it wasn't for an eyewitness that I spoke to directly, that I'm I guess I don't say semi, I consider him a relative, but, and then you get this guy who tells you a bunch of encounters that people have had out there. Another thing that was told to me about this, and there's no more real descriptions I can give you of this thing, but there are a lot of spook lights out there. A lot of people claiming to see like bouncing lights kind of bobbing in the woods, will-o'-the-wisp, as this guy called it. The old timers love that term, but I mean, it just seemed like, and he's not an old timer, but that's what they told him they were, with different colors like yellow, blue, green, red, different colored lights. Sometimes there'll be 2 of them, different colors, and they'll intersect and become like another color. What is that? Is this part of the phenomenon? Because how many times have we heard? I can't tell you how many times I've heard this. I was watching someone's show the other day, and I don't even know. It was just, I don't even know who these people are. There was no live stream. It was just a person retelling encounter. And I couldn't tell whether it was an AI voice or not. So I'm not going to tell you to go watch it. But they were describing lights coming onto people's property, and then someone seeing a Dogman that went into a barn. And like I said, so many people on YouTube, they're saying all kinds of weird stuff, dude. And some of this stuff is like, you don't even know who the people are that are pumping this content out. Like, you don't even know who they are. Like, it's just somebody that's making, typing up AI, and then they get that one guy's voice. At that time, he went to the barn.
Well, that's especially lazy, because it's like you can't even be bothered to do a voiceover like
of your fake stuff. Yeah, it's weird. I looked up hyenas because like maybe, but they're
Like the striped hyena.
but it's definitely uniform. It's like a uniform pattern compared to like brindle.
Do you have a picture of one?
Uh, what do you think?
That's weird. Look at that.
That is weird.
You know, that kind of looks like that looks like what those guys out in Midlands or was it Odessa or Midland? Those roughnecks out there, those oil workers. That describes that actually describes kind of like what somebody claims to have seen out there in Midland, Odessa. That was those roughnecks out there. Tagger, I didn't say his name, but the one guy's name, you know, he went out there and he was like, I'm gonna tell you this. This is a true story. And this thing chased their truck, getting up on its hind legs and trying to like it was trying to grab the truck to stop it. You know, and it's so weird. Like the thing had enough power that it thought it was going to be able to do it. And it was reaching in trying to bite a guy, and it was in the back of the truck. I can tell you this, according to him, nobody rode in the back of a truck again on their way home.
I guarantee it.
You know, I don't know, man. When you take some of these encounters, you come away with more questions than answers. And that's the truth. And I've told people this before too. You know, you can't, I don't know how to say it, like not quantify. What is the word I'm looking for?
Classify or
I got a word on the tip of my tongue. I want a word that makes me sound smart.
compartmentalize. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Thingy-majigger.
I'm telling you on the effervescence level. All right, I'm trying.
The Everessence.
Yeah, effervescence level. I do need a word though that I can come up with because I don't know how to say it. When you like, I don't know, man. At the end of the day, you know, I want to say that this thing is absolutely like there is a dogman, a real dogman. I would love to believe that that is the case. That there is a skinwalker that's distinctly different from the werewolf, and that we know exactly what they are, and that there is a dogman that is absolutely a dogman. And this would be a dogman because it looks a little bit more dog-like than the average wolf. But I'm going to throw you something out there. And this may sound completely crazy, and I don't know, and I don't care. People think I'm crazy anyway. The good thing I don't care what people think, so throw that out the window. What if what we're dealing with is something I would say like I was going to say unquantifiable, I guess maybe, right? What if what we're dealing with that is a dog type of this creature that has a hybrid way down the line, maybe if it's a physical thing. But as soon as you start thinking that, you're like, okay, this could be an actual dog man, you know, it's got that wolf in it, right? So maybe it's a dog wolf hybrid, right? But what if this is not, or it's a flesh and blood creature, but then why does it make this guy's battery go dead? Was that just a coincidence? Now, I don't know of any other stories about that out there. I just know his. It didn't happen to DB. Of course, DB got away. But, you know, what do you think?
I mean, I don't ever believe it's a coincidence whenever these things are around and there's all this electromagnetic interference or like people get sick after encountering them and that their symptoms are like they're mimicking radiation sickness. And I find it hard to believe that like it could be just like an undiscovered species because I just don't really see how like the design of the wolf as a predator it's designed to be a pack animal.
Yeah.
And like,
it's a pretty good design. Too.
Yeah, it's a highly successful design. So just like evolutionarily, even if you just look at it from a completely secular point of view, it's really not necessary for them to like have this adaptation where they can be on two legs. It's not an efficient way to chase your prey, you know.
Yeah, the two leg thing seems to kind of come into play quite a bit in the way that like you're thinking, why would it do that?
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Like, why would you do that? And if you ever notice, like why would they run on two legs? Like somebody will say, "Oh, this thing was down on all fours, and then it stands up and runs across the road." Why does it do that?
Why?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I don't know. Any questions from the audience before we move on? I mean, if you got any ideas. Yeah, Dick Richards. You know what? Throw the link. Dick, come on the show. I got a couple questions for you real quick. We can this would be interesting. Because I got another encounter we could go over with Dick on here. If Dick's up to coming on. Because I don't know if y'all remember his. I got a question here. Oh, God. Just saw some more madness from these people. They get a life, people. They do nothing paranormal or cryptids or anything. Do something entertaining. Build a roach circus or something. You know, entertain the people there.
Be useful in some way.
Look at what Jordan says. Having ex-cultists on the show is one thing. Canadians is where I draw the line. He got you there, Dick.
Yeah.
Yes, but he's one of the good ones, as we call them.
Don't worry.
One of the good ones.
Well, he has a thing for Tony. He's going to stalk Tony now. He says he's Tony's worst nightmare. And then in the chat,
was a joke. That was a joke because he was acting as a monster.
He said something about you again. He said something about Tony. You would make a good. I don't remember what he was saying.
Comments on my mustache.
Yeah, he was talking about you. Like he's kind of attracted.
He's staring at my lips a lot.
Yeah, he's kind of weird like that. Ed Gein over here.
I'm weird like a lot of things, bro.
So Richard, when you type that, I thought, you know what? Let's bring you on. What are your thoughts? Because like when you were talking about your Dogman encounter, and you've told this on the show before, you know, but you got sepsis and you got radiation sickness, and we talked the other day about somebody putting their hand on the ground and getting ill from this. It's not the first time we've heard this. Now my step cousin, he didn't get sick because he got the hell out of there, but these people get everything from mental illness, you know, nightmares to radiation sickness. Why do you think that is?
Don't engage in the staring contest with it. That's for sure.
So
I really don't know. Like I don't know if it's, dude, I have no theories on that. Usually I have a theory about something, but I really don't know why that would happen. Unless they're just bearers of the pestilence.
Is it possible it's like a, I don't know if runoff is the right word, but like from them kind of having to enter their own like parallel space? Do you think that maybe some of that energy runoff just affects you in a different way? Or maybe that's the energy they use to be able to create their own parallel reality?
And it could be. I mean, like I said, the stupid ones that I saw fell out of a freaking portal. So I don't know if it's some sort of a bleed over from whatever dimension they fell out of. I don't know. I mean,
why do you call them stupid?
because it damn near killed me. I just use that as
They
for
gave
lack
them
of a
an
better
IQ
adjective.
test.
Well, they're
Lack
not
So if
necessarily-
it did kill you, then it would be smart.
Okay, guys. All right.
I'm just going by your logic.
This smart
You're
ass
like,
sucker.
I don't have any logic. Come on, man.
No.
We're just trying to figure out, you
Yeah.
as a person, Dick, since you're so, unfortunately diseased with Canadianism. So,
That is a disease too, all in its own.
No.
Flappy head syndrome or whatever it is.
Look at what Bounty Hunting Bear said. Maybe energy plasma interaction. Now,
Very well
this
could
is
be.
where I got to give you a story. This happened to a friend of mine who's Lebanese. I know a lot of Lebanese people in this community here in Austin. And he believes this happened to him when he went overseas. This was years ago. And this was not supposed to be on tonight's show. It was about Central Texas. But he does live here in Central Texas and has for 36 years. But he would, during the Civil War, his family left years ago when he was young, and he went home. Now, in that area where he's from, up in the mountains, it's a little bit cooler. But his grandmother and them, like in the summertime, they would, this is something that they do. I mean, they'll sleep outside sometimes because it's nice and cool. You don't need to use a fan or whatever. And so she would sleep outside under the stars, under everything, just like literally take a bed, sleep outside. And his grandmother had been doing this since she was young. And so he said that one time there was this, they all have these like fences, not like we do here where they just put up a chain link. They'll actually use masonry to make a fence, and then they'll have like a wrought iron gate. That's what his grandmother had. And there was this wall. And he said that when he was 17 or he was 14, he was looking over this wall. It happened again when he was 17. But he saw this thing running along the top of the wall. It kind of reminded me of the way he described it moving. It reminded me of the what are those creatures we had all over that place near the old house, the haunted house.
The lemurs.
Lemurs.
Yeah.
Lemurs?
Yeah, and me and Vic Cundiff kind of made fun of this guy because he the way he did it was so asinine. Though he was trying to force it down our throats that it was like these prehensile tail type thing, whatever. But this thing, it was running along the top of this fence, and the thing was like large. It was like he's like it wasn't like as I described a lemur to him. He said it wasn't a lemur. It was large. It was like big, like 4 times the size of a humongous raccoon, but not quite the size of a large dog. But it was crawling the way it crawled, but the tail was wolf-like, and the head was kind of wolf-like. And then when he went back, his grandmother had said that she had to stop going out and sleeping out under the stars because there was something out there, and it had walked up to the gate. It was trying to open the latch and was looking at her. She said that it looked like a jinn, but it was like a fox. Now, here's the thing. Before you say, oh, now we're talking about werefoxes and all this stuff. No, the reason is because the most Islamic people, and he's Islamic, a lot of them are Druze or Christian too, or Maronite, whatever. They don't believe that the jinn can take the form of a wolf. There is some speculation that, folks, and now it's going to sound weird, but I'm going to explain that to you. I think one of the reasons is because that werewolf type entity is so prevalent there in the Levant that even the Jewish people and the Christian people in that region and the Muslims alike, they don't believe that these demons can take the form of a wolf, because this is what I believe. This is what I truly believe. And I was talking to a Kurdish Turkish friend of mine the other day. And you know who he is. He's got the, but he was talking about this because they don't see these things as wolves. They see them standing upright. So they believe that the Jinn will try to take the form of the wolf, but it gets stuck like walking like a human, right? The reason I think that too is because I was talking to a Pueblo native, and she was talking about some of her people have that same theory that a demon will take the form of a wolf, or will try to take the form of a wolf, and it will get stuck using the human vessel, i.e., the skinwalker.
Weird.
They don't call it that though; they call it something else, you know. But so if you follow that logic, you're thinking maybe that's why they think that. Just like when we said earlier, people think that we see these things under the full moon, that the full moon is affecting them, but when in reality, that's when you can see these things.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you ever study the story of the Ghost in the Darkness, the same thing happens with those demonic tiger attacks. We did the episode about the demonic tiger attacks of India. These people see these tigers attacking people under the full moon. They're like, the full moon's making it happen. No, it's because you're seeing it at that time, because you can see it.
Yeah.
The same thing with the lions that were attacking people with solid, like they would attack under the full moon. That's when they were seen. But other nights it was just pitch black and people were disappearing. And you waking up, and I'm not laughing at people disappearing. I'm just laughing because it's like, hello, it's common. That's just common sense. Yeah. But there were a lot of Indian people that were there working on that railroad at Salvo, brought over by the British Empire. And Patterson, you know, the Irishman that was getting it done for the British, he himself was like, yeah, these Indians, they've dealt with this before with the tigers killing and eating people. And they were getting together with these Africans that are comparing notes like, well, they attacked under the full moon, you know, but they also attack in the darkness. But, you know, it's because in the full moon you can see them. So Patterson went out and got up in a tree and shot them by the light of the full moon.
It could be the other way around too. I mean, they might hunt when there's a full moon because they can also see better.
No, because those animals can see better in the dark. They're nocturnal, dumbass.
Okay. I'm talking about lions. I'm talking about these other.
Yeah, cats have a nocturnal eye.
I mean, to be fair,
I said I'm not talking about.
To be fair, I was going to make that point until I corrected myself in my head and saw the inconsistency of it. And I was like, no, shut up.
Richard doesn't like
that. Doesn't make sense.
I never said that. I think you guys are great.
But you don't like him.
No, you said that over and over.
That's okay. I'm
pretty sure. I
don't care.
Yeah.
What about all the messages you sent me, Richard, saying how great I am and I should move to Canada?
Exactly.
Oh, so he's two-faced.
Yeah. Y'all could be together.
So there you go.
I'm going to walk in the beach.
You said we could run away together and go to Baja.
Step on piss
well,
cans.
you know, Tony, if you are going to be with Dick Richards, Canada is the place you want to be to do that.
Oh God!
I hear they give you free everything and like a mansion.
Importance for life.
Yeah, we're going to run away to Fiji. Actually.
Yeah,
$82,000 a year for a trans refugee.
What? Yeah. Are you being serious?
And then if you marry,
100%. 100%.
If you marry your
I got a plan all of a sudden. We just came up with a plan.
I know, right? I know.
If you're Canadian and you marry your pets, you never pay taxes anymore or whatever.
Look what Law Morgan said. Get married in 10 months.
Well,
I had my marriage.
What a nightmare wedding.
So we got married at Tim Hortons or drinking coffee. It was so awesome.
I'm sure it wouldn't be the first time.
Wow. I know about that elastic. Pretty excited. Hopefully they do it right.
I mean, a good way to clean up for a year.
Oh, there's been a new Fable game?
Mm-hmm.
What am I clicking that for? Elastic, you need to get a hold of me. I need to talk to you about a couple of things. If you could, get a hold of me. So here's the thing, because we were talking about doing a project together, and that's the thing. Here's what I think. I think with the radiation thing, it could be a byproduct of them being made of plasma. I think Bounty Hunting Bear had a point. I mean, smokeless flame, and these beings predate Islam by thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
I think so too.
Mm-hmm. And so you have these plasmic beings, which if you were to look at smokeless flame is like plasma, right? So then they move in and out of our reality. 2 times in the history of us doing on-site investigations And that's the thing too. We don't get enough credit for that, because a lot of people, they don't want to be on camera, but we need to start just when we go out to a place every time, just video it and put it on there so we can be boots on the ground too, because I guarantee you we do as much as they do. We just don't put it on there because I'm like, I don't want to walk around and you don't find anything. Then why are you doing, what is the point? Because 3 times we've gone out and recorded, we didn't find shit. So what are we going to do? I mean, go out there and find rubber duckies and make noises and shit.
Record ourselves hiking.
You're just recording yourself hiking around. And I'm not about fraud. That's what that is. I mean, it's just fraud, But I guess we can start doing it.
I was going to say, much to your point. No, that's okay. Much to your point about the plasma, though, both of those, I don't know, whatever they were, Dogman, werewolves, whatever the hell they were, fell out of plasma portals. It looked like, those blue Bill Nye the Science Guy balls? It looked like the ignited plasma between the two of them. And it was even that blue electricity color.
I don't watch that guy. He's not a real scientist.
You know what I mean.
Not really. I don't watch
All right.
Bill Nye the Scientist guy. I don't know that guy. I don't know anything about that guy.
Bill.
You never
we have no idea who he is.
What? Beta Ray Bill? You talking about Beta Ray Bill? I know him.
He's definitely a beta.
He's real.
So yeah, he's real. He's the real deal. So what I was thinking though, like if you were to stop and analyze this, because these people claim that they're seeing these, I would call them orbs, plasma balls, whatever, out there in the Uvalde place, whatever. Well, it's not Uvalde, it's near there. But let's put it this way: there's thousands and thousands and thousands of square miles of Texas. If not millions, I don't know how many. There's bunches of thousands of square miles. But if you were to look at this, these places, a lot of these are private, but you can lease land from them. That's where a lot of these things start happening. People are like, well, I was at a deer lease, because you're leasing somebody's land to go out there and do stuff. And a friend of ours from Belgium was out there in South Texas, and he had a black bear. This is South Texas. Walk right up to his deer stand. Didn't do anything. He just sniffed around and it left. He was sitting there eating a pimento cheese sandwich, and he's just like, and it didn't do anything. It just left. But
should have got
a lot of weird stuff out there, man. And I would say the creatures that come out of these, you just said plasma. What do you call it? Plasma ball orbs?
Plasma portal. Yeah, it was like it wasn't like one of those Ophanum. What it was just like a bunch of, like, it looked like blue lightning. And then it sort of like expanded up in the trees and got bigger and bigger and bigger. And when it got to a certain point, crash, boom, bang, something fell out and hit every branch on the way down, and then stood up and blasted into the cornfield. And then about 200 or 300 meters to the way I was looking at it, to the left, it did the exact same thing again, like 2 seconds later.
See, that's weird. Like, you're sitting there looking at that, and it didn't attack you, right?
No. I thought it was going to. Like, when the one ran up on me. So after they were like doing these weird bluff charges that you talk about them doing between my three other friends and I, where they kept doing it. Like, they were like as fast as freaking Ferraris, man. And I was up on a knoll, so I could see down and over the whole one side of the cornfield we were in. And I could see these things running back and forth, but I couldn't see what they were because the corn was so high. So finally, it was, I don't know, man, it felt like 1,000 years I was out there, because they ran up on me and ran away, and I could see them doing it to them as well. And then the one ran up the one side and the one ran up the other. And then my buddy's dog came up beside me, and I dang near shot the dog. And then as soon as the dog came up, I said, Mocha, what the hell is going on? The dog looked up at me and then fell down and started seizuring, or having one of those, like, it looked like she was having a seizure. And that's when the big ass one walked up from this way. Yeah. Looked up and over the freaking 2 rows of corn. And then just him and I had a staring contest for what felt like another 1,000 years.
See, and that's the key right there, the linchpin to me, because I wanted to, because I'm sorry, but I didn't remember your encounter word for word. I've covered 1,000
All
of them,
good, buddy. Yeah.
so I'm sitting there kind of trying to put it together. When you have people that say, "Hey, this happened. That there's this weird radiation." When you were talking about the sepsis and the radiation,
Buddy, I got so sick I nearly died.
yeah. And see, one of my friends, when he came back from Lebanon, here's what's weird. This guy had an encounter with something his grandmother did in Lebanon, and then late at night he was out there and he was smoking a hookah with a couple of his friends. They love to do that Turkish tobacco, whatever.
Shisha or whatever it is.
Yeah. And it's, a lot of people like it, man. A couple of my friends do that stuff all the time, man. But anyway, they were out there sharing a hookah, and then this thing they see two clawed hands go over the fence. It's a 6-foot fence. And then they see it lift its head up and look around and look right at them. And it kind of had a hyena-like head, but with a more pointed skull, because that striped hyena, which is a solitary animal, has a wolf-like head, whereas the spotted hyena is more rounded, with rounded ears, whereas the striped one has a little different ears. You can tell it's hyena spun, but it looks almost like a wolf and a hyena had a baby.
It's weird. It's like its features almost match its patterns. Rounded. Its head is a little more rounded, and its ears are rounded, but then the striped ones are a little bit more sharp.
Well, and then if you like his grandmother was saying how this thing looked like a giant fox, because she doesn't believe that, because it was crawling around and acting like a fox, or like a large one, and then it was standing up at the door. She doesn't believe that it was a wolf, because they don't believe that the Jinn can take the form of a wolf.
Don't the Japanese have that fox demon thing that they're all afraid of too?
The multi-tailed creature.
Yeah,
is that what it is?
Something like that.
Yep. If you see a fox with 2 or more tails, that's a kitsune. Yeah.
Like there's a lot of nuances across cultures with all of these things too. Like it bleeds over from continent to continent. So are we dealing with the same dang thing?
Or a mandanimal, something from the Mandela effect.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, if we really think about it, our physical boundaries, our territories are really just in the physical world. Like they probably have an entirely different set of boundaries and territories in there and how they handle it. And distance is probably meaningless to them compared to how we see it.
Well, yeah, like where did these two things that we saw go? Because after I went out and I stood out on the road and they stood by the side of the road and looked at me, and we had another big staring contest for however long it took my buddy to come back and pick me up. Like, where do they go after that? Are they still there? Or are they still hanging out in New Lowell, Ontario? I doubt it, because people would see them.
Yeah.
Where do they go?
Yeah. It's,
And I also... this is a story that me and Armando researched together, but there was a woman who was just being plagued by these Dogman creatures, and she moved states multiple times, but they always seemed to find her.
She was in Mexico even,
She went everywhere, like way up north, all the way back.
And
down
it was
south.
some of the same ones too.
Oh, she knows for sure that it was the same ones.
Yeah, so let me wrap this up.
They look the same, did they?
Oh, no, they were the same.
They were the same.
Yeah, she recognized one distinctly, and she always saw that one, and because it was like the leader. Or whatever.
That's so weird.
I gotta say, when my friend Ben comes back, Bendar, when he comes back, we called him Ben. When he comes back from overseas, he claims to see this Dogman entity his first week back. Now, this is a weird synchronicity. Approximately a mile away from where, and I think I covered this one on Dogman Encounters, there was a couple, they're boomers, they don't know anything about all this, but they were coming back from the movie theater right there in Westlake, out in Westlake Hills, and they see this creature. And Tony, you, I, and Nellie, I don't know if Anthony was with us, but I know it was me, you, and Nellie, and maybe Zane. Or no, it was me, you, Nellie, and Zane, and we were out there, and we went to that spot.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we were leaving and we all kind of felt lightheaded?
It felt weird. Like I know you and Nelly started feeling like sick.
Like sick, yeah.
First.
I didn't think
But
about it.
then
But
Zane was feeling like, yeah, I've been feeling kind of off since we got here.
because he kept, it was warm and he said it felt cold.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. And so we went all over that area where people had seen this creature that it was standing by a creek, and it stood up, and it scared the hell out of these people.
And then I started getting tired. It's like as we were leaving,
yeah, we were
I couldn't
tired.
keep my eyes
Everybody
open.
was like, just like it drains you.
Mm-hmm.
And so the spot where we went to, I believe that I walked right over the spot where it was at. I won't do that anymore because I learned my lesson. But this was several years ago, and then this friend of mine, Ben, who was dating this girl, and they were coming back from a place called Hula Hut. If you look it up, it's an awesome, really good place.
It's really good food.
And they were going across that little bridge right there by the dam, by one of the small dams, and then they come around the curve and they see this thing, which is not far from where these people had their encounter when they were on their way home. And this, once again, was headed toward Westlake Hills, not in Westlake Hills. But this thing runs across the road, and then he's like, wow. He sees one of these things go up on the wall, and then him and his friends threw rocks at it in Lebanon, and it left. Finally, one of them got the bravery to go and look over the wall, and it was gone. But the second day after he comes back from his week-long trip to visit his grandmother, he and his girlfriend encounter a Dogman creature, which is crazy. Now, here's the thing. His girlfriend is Indian. She's from India. And she just freaked out, dude. And then for like days, she was having nightmares.
I'll bet.
And then one of her nightmares actually involved what he saw, because I guess he had told her. So she had this nightmare about this creature that he had seen in Lebanon. But they look like two different things, but there's no coincidences. And then what are the odds? You're in another country, you're over in the Levant, and you come back, and you see this creature, and that happened in southern Lebanon. And it's not far from the Israeli border. And according to him, there were these Israeli soldiers who they make incursions into their territory all the time. But he said that one of them was there. They were looking for Hamas or something like that during this last intifada. And they had questioned his brother. And get this, one of the IDF soldiers asked his brother if they had seen a wolf-like creature.
Really?
That it had literally attacked one of the soldiers. And what these Jewish soldiers were trying to say was that these, Lebanese people were using magic or something like that. But the Lebanese, and the Syrians and everybody were accusing them of the same thing.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, so they're just going back and forth like these people are attacking each other, You're using magic. No, you're using magic, You're a towel. Yeah, you're a towel.
Both sides.
Yeah,
notorious for their black magic ways.
Yeah, and people try to like apparently, like I said before, like this one dingbat guy was trying to say that I was using a Hamas dude to hack people. I would not need to go hire an international terrorist organization to hack somebody.
I would have hired the Mujahideen if I was you, because they're a lot more hardcore. But
Just go.
But I mean,
North Korea.
They're known for their hacking.
The mullahs. Let's go get the
they
mullahs.
are.
Boko Haram.
Yeah, I was talking to
Kim Jong-un.
Kim Jong-un the other day, and I said, Kim Jong-un.
Kimmy, as we know him.
Kimmy. I said, Kimmy. I said, Kimmy, can you hack these people for me? He goes, you'll give me something. You'll have enriched plutonium or uranium. I will hack them for you. Otherwise, a no-go. And then he's like, I have to use the restroom. I was like, really? I thought you didn't. No, I have someone else do it for me. I make sure they do it. Goodbye.
You know that he quit playing golf because every shot he took was a hole-in-one?
Yeah, and he's the king of everything. He's never missed a shot. He knows archery, animal husbandry.
Yeah.
He's a master at backgammon. Amazing.
He's an amazing human being.
Amazing. If we could have a world full of him, it would be smooth sailing, folks.
Right?
No more
Hey.
need for toilets.
The entire pleasure brigade at his behest.
He learned how to not poop or pee, and that's why he's so
Mhm.
fat, because he's holding it
And
in.
not
I don't
sleep.
Yeah.
know. You don't sleep. You don't have to sleep.
No.
Can
And
you,
he can
so
reproduce
gross.
asexually.
can you imagine the reality you have to suspend to be around somebody like that?
Mm.
Kind of like up in Oklahoma, you know. But
Hey, if you don't know anything different, it is reality, my friend.
oh, they have cameras and speakers in the houses, so that you can't even think.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can't say anything about it.
Can't even question if he
Can't
poops.
question them. But there's people that are running this country who would love to do that now. They would
You
love to
think?
put stuff in our houses so that we can't speak out against a certain people. Not
I'm
gonna say
looking
who they
into a
are.
speaker right. I'm looking into the camera and speaker right now that's following us all around 24/7, recording absolutely
But I'm
everything
saying that
we're
way they
saying
can
all
come
the time.
and grab you. They come and get you. They'd be like, "Why are you doing that?"
Just
I
give
mean, they
it
know what
time.
you're saying, but they can't stop you.
Just
They
give it
want to be able
time.
to stop you.
Yeah, just give it time. They're making lists, believe me.
Oh yeah, everybody in PRT, you know.
Yeah.
It says here, I just asked the companies to check their extended warranty. Yeah, you could definitely tell the ops that they're not gonna be on no list. They're just like, y'all did a good job. Y'all did everything. Y'all fought the bad fight for us. Thank you. They'll give them checks.
Yeah.
They'll get
Thanks for running
stimulus
interference.
checks
Yeah.
for them. They got. All right, guys, I got to run. Dick, thank you for coming on.
Thank
I
you,
gotta
sir.
get out of here, man. I got an early night to work tonight because I got a person that's out. But we'll see you tomorrow night. Maybe we can continue
Awesome.
this.
Look
All
forward to it, brother.
right.
Later,
Keep
Dick.
growing it
God bless
out.
you
It
guys.
look more like a man now instead of a kid.
You think so? It's a little patchy, I know.
Let it
What are you
grow
gonna
out.
do?
See what
All
happens.
right.
You don't look
All
bad.
right. All right.
All right. I'll
Thanks.
see you.
Love you guys.
All right. See you. Bye.
Bye.
So yeah, I mean, and thank you for modding. Sparky says everyone have a great night. Make sure you like the video and comment after, please. Yes, and like and subscribe. Give us a hey, shout out, whatever. We got to run. We're pressed for time. We have a lot to do tonight. We have extra patrols to do because this time of year until the end of the year, we have what we call Christmas patrol, where we have to go out and make sure that everybody's stuff that decorates their, because it is the truth. The homeless people are so bad that we have to, they pay us extra hours, extra money, everything, because they don't want the homeless people stealing their Christmas decorations.
Or the
Yeah.
gifts. Like there's a lot of Amazon gifts being stolen.
Yeah,
yeah.
the packages. Oh my God.
It's crazy.
That started about 2 weeks ago, just
Mhm.
every night, dude. And Maddie was out there and, you know, she got hit. Not hit, but
Not
they,
hit, yeah.
they took the package.
Yeah.
But that's they see Maddie and they're just like, what's she gonna do? I'm gonna go steal over there. But thank you to everybody who donated. Did we hit the?
No,
We didn't hit it. Dang. All right. Well,
I can't see if we did.
no. It's only 6 of 20.
How do you see it? Is it?
Right there.
we got 1,
Ah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we hit 7. We needed 10, right?
20.
Well, like the goal was like $10 or higher, so like $200 basically.
So did we make that?
We might have.
Okay. 15.
If
Well,
we
then we'll
add 'em
count
up.
it all together. See, we made sure. That's 15 plus 20, 25, 35, 55, 50. I don't know what the 2 pounds would be. What would that be? $4? Yes. Just add it up.
Let's see. What's the total? Let me see. So 20, 75.
No, we didn't hit it.
No.
Oh well, but we'll still do a giveaway. We got to do it quickly though. We got to do it real quick. Everybody in the live, if you haven't won anything, just say you haven't won, and you'll be tonight's winner. We don't have enough time to do more than that, so we'll go ahead and do it. But I got to lay down my foot because I always tell people No. And then I end up giving in, and then people run me over. Can't do that. No. I'm always already getting accused of being a bad guy. So what? Whatever. Well, it might be now. Two shadows just jumped, and then
So
there it goes.
there's
Amy.
$40 more towards that.
So how much are they all together? Did we
let
hit
me
our
add it.
goal?
Let me see.
Remember, guys, this is going to be going toward the food drive. Oh, I forgot. We give it all away to people in mansions, right? That's according to.
Come on.
Big fat Oompa Loompa says
go
that.
another
Even though he
$50.
was with us, whatever.
Thank you so much, Shadow Fur.
I don't know what this is, Maddie, that you brought us, but this is. I don't know what you ordered. I'll teach you how to order the drinks correctly. There was no soft top in it.
Yeah.
You didn't get it either?
No, I got it. She made mine, right?
Oh, you
I
got
don't know if you put protein milk in there.
Yeah, I didn't take no protein milk. She messed mine up. Maddie, no more. You are no longer the designated drink getter.
All right, yeah, we hit the goal.
But we got to do the mail offs now. We got to do the mail offs too, guys. We got to get that done. We got to if you're now. There's been several people on Patreon that have messaged me over the past week. If you're on Patreon, do this giveaways at PRTpodcast.com. Where is it? At the bottom of the screen. There it is, right there. Giveaways PRTpodcast.com. That's where you're going to get. Send your stuff. So we're going to give that to somebody. So who do we give it to? Let's figure it out here. Who hasn't won? Come on, somebody. Thank you, Susie. Yes, thank you.
Bob Wiley.
Bob Wiley says, I haven't won. Well, you just did.
I think he was the first one.
He's fast. He's like, look at them thumbs. He's hitting it, boy. Thank you, UG. Appreciate that. My prediction.
Happiness.
They'll be like, he was on his show begging for money again. Now, I'm a little coward. I'm not going to go on your show and say nothing. I'm just going to stay away. I want you, my ops, this is a message for you. Do what you did with Sparky, how you ganged up on him. Do it to me. Do it to I please.
Please come beat him up.
I'll take 5 of you. All of you. I'll take all of you, like Optimus Prime when he was fighting Megatron, Starscream, and what's his face? Blackout. I'll fight all of you. It doesn't matter. Every one of you. The truth always wins.
Surely you have what it takes to put him in his place.
Yeah.
All of you together.
We start calling Clough the Clough Scream. Yes, Megatron.
We don't need to mute your mic.
Quasi Cluffo. Master. Epiates. I can see Mikey's like, unlike the cruel wolf that wants you to stand, I just want you to kneel. That's all I ask. Be my footstool. Yeah, Cliff. Be his footstool. Be his footstool, Mark. Come on now, Cliff. Yeah, Cliff. Let's get on, Cliff. We've been doing serious journalism here. I can't imitate what's that. It's just too. There we go. You can take this. You can. You took my son. You kidnapped him. You kidnapped my son. Kidnapped. I'm gonna eat that pig. I'm gonna eat truffles. I'm gonna eat. I got you good. Woo! Yeah. The power of the devil flows through me. I'm a high priest, Larry. Larry, if you want to talk to me, go through Brother Larry. I'm the Jim Jones of the cryptid world. Punk ass. One day, maybe, just one day, you'll have the balls that God gave the chipmunk to face me.
I just want to tell everybody we got good news in the crypto community. I have made friends with one of the people that I started shit with. I will now begin to attack him with fake accounts. Good night, folks. See ya.